In truth and in fact, can I say this? And I'm very careful. That the way we respond to this whole ideology seems as if we see or recognize stress as an obstacle. That's why sometimes we become so stressed out. Even a child will look at mommy and daddy and say, "Mommy, you are stressing me out." Can you imagine? So stress should be a powerful driving force. Thank you. And when we consider the word stressor, stressor is any event, force, or condition that result in physical or emotional stress. Any force, any condition, any event. Once those events, forces or condition is not in alignment with your expectations, then you need to start looking out for stressors. They may be internal or external forces that requires adjustment or coping strategies on the part of the affected individual. It could be internal as well as external. Remember what I said earlier on, that irrespective of the nature of the change, there is an element of stress. And the reality remains that every one of us, under the sound of my voice, in one way or the other, have experienced change. Imagine, sometime, you remember when you were sitting on the floor like this, and all of a sudden you move from sitting on the floor and now you can stand. That is what? Change. Change is fluid. Change can be negative or positive. When things change in your life, it can impact your mental health and well-being. I'm going to restate. When things change in your life, it can impact your mental health and your well-being. So your outlook on the world, it affects how you deal with new situation. And I'm going to restate. Your outlook on the world affects how you deal with new situation. There is an approach in psychology known as cognitive behavioral therapy. And what does approach does, it looks at three domains: the cognitive domain, the emotional domain, and the behavioral domain. That these three domains, they work hand in hand. Let me restate. The cognitive domain, the emotional domain or psychological domain, as well as the behavioral domain. And these three domains work hand in hand. Can I say this? The way the cognitive domain responds to activating event will determine how this emotional aspect of your system will function. And if the emotional aspect of your system is not functioning right, you begin to see it project itself through the outward, which is noted as what? The way you behave, the way you speak to people, the way you act. And the list continues. And again, when we look at this statement, your outlook on the world affects how you deal with new situation. If you at that same active and you say to that activating event, you got me here. That is when your body, the emotional domain of your being, will either become very sad, you're sad with everybody, upset with every little thing, every single thing irritates you. And because of that, when I look at my friend, Honorable, I become so mad with him for no just cause. Why? Because I have allowed the activating event to influence and invade how I respond to him. Again, as it relates to change, if you generally have a negative outlook on life, major changes may worsen these feelings. Negative thoughts and feelings can lead to greater stress. Let me restate. Negative thought. And I want to pass it and to say that in life, things do happen. Let me restate. In life, things do what? Happen. And I'm going to quote one psychologist. Charles Swindoll said, and I'll quote, that life in general is what? 10% of what life throws to you. What life gives to you. 10%. And within your jurisdiction, within your power, you have 90%. Look at it. 10% is what life will throw to you. You have the remaining 90%. That's food for thought. I'm not going to go further. I'm going to restate again. Life on a daily basis will introduce to you 10%, and the rest of 90%. Whatever you decide to do with the 90% will determine how you are doing. It's not the 10%, but the 90%. But this is what we have been doing. We constantly fix our entire mind on the 10 and forget and relinquish the 90% that we have control over to control just that 10%. When stress becomes overwhelming, it can hurt your mental state. Once it becomes overwhelming, the possibility is there that it will impact your mental state. I'm coming back to those in-house and on the virtual space. What are your stressors? Do you even know your number? Do you know your number? contributed by millions of bacteria, which can influence its health and the brain's health, which as well can impact the ability to think and affect your emotion. Remember, this whole ideology of irrational thought is not just because you want to think irrationally. No, there is something going on that is causing you stress, that is now impacting your cognitive domain. Hence why. But don't forget, when you think irrationally, you will in turn act irrationally. You cannot think irrationally and expect to act rational. It's impossible. It's not possible. No, it's not. And they will say, and I'm going to be careful here, as the man thinketh, or as a woman thinketh, so he or she is. I didn't say that, you know. I came and I saw it. As a man thinketh, so he or she is. Not be mistake say. Because I need to pull away myself so that nobody will say that Dr. Jana said. That's what I saw. And I've recorded what I saw. And I hope we know, all the men in this house and those on the virtual space, that stress has a way of impacting your reproduction system. I know this is big man stuff because we have kids here. I'm not going to go deeper into this. All right, praise. Yeah, man, I'm not going to go into it. But just understand that stress can slow it down. yeah, man, that's true. And same goes for female too. I hope we know that. So I just said so goes for female. So I'm like, I'm not going to go into it because at least I have our children here, okay? Yes. I should go back? Yes. So the female, all right, just to go back. But like I said, I'm just been making sure I'm taking care of our children, okay? Yeah, man. The endocrine system during a stressful event, an increase in cortisol can provide the energy required to deal with prolonged or extreme challenges. So, there's something I want to point here that chronic stress can result in impaired communication between the immune system and the HPA acids. And once there is an impairment in communication, that's where you begin to hear about communication breakdown in the system. So this impaired communication has been linked to future development of numerous physical and mental health conditions, including chronic fatigue, metabolic disorder, diabetes, obesity, depression, even immune disorder. In all I have shared with us, is there a way out? You think you can control your stress level. Remember, I quoted Charles Swindoll. Charles Swindoll said, and I quote, that life event is 10% it will give to you, but you have 90% to work with that 10. Do you think you have what it takes to manage this everyday life experiences and conduct? progressive muscle relaxation, positive self-talk, mindfulness, and it's all about psychotherapy, which we are into. And then there's what we call art therapy. The good thing with this brand is that we utilize an integrative approach in dealing with every single daily situations that comes our way. That's the good thing about this brand. We utilize an integrative approach. Not a one-sided approach. Very integrative in nature. Very integrative in context. Very integrative in culture. And we're going to do a little, I'm going to ask someone to come, and then we just use something. We're going to ask probably Alaji, are you ready? Okay, now, good thing, the acting high commissioner is here. So we're going to just use part of what we use in with our brand to demonstrate how we can use art to reduce the frequency of stress. Come. For 1 minute, please make sure you're very, very careful with our acting high commissioner. I don't want anybody to send me home now. Act. I'm in Nigeria, no, I'm in Nigeria, but still.
What a weird this young man, him look good. Him look good, eh? You think the man look good? But the glasses this top work last week. Sir, your shoe, your slippers look very, very, very because it was probably creative or healthy. What made you feel? Everybody needs a second. We're getting to all our stress, right? All right. So you found something that you believe that could be collective, because the lecture provides something that is collective. But if we came into the room and maybe we were dancing or singing,
community. Just this afternoon, they were shooting in my area. So, there is no other way to put it. The stress is all around us. And for us to be here, I'm sure those who are not here, but as you can see, I kept taking pictures. Because that clip of notes, I'm sending it around to my teachers, friends, family. They need to read and learn one or two things from it. It's been a wonderful piece of the lecture with me. They learned, I believe all of us in here will learn a lot from Jack. And thank you very much for that. It may seem simple to you because it's your everyday, but to us, it's a great lesson. And I believe we take something from it. Even our little ones, we learn from it because they are facing a lot in the classroom. Let me tell you, in the classroom, where student is hitting teacher with a chair, they will be wondering what kind of world is this? Believe me, so they are taking something to relax themselves, understand that stress is high. So we really thank you. I will appreciate that. And I thank Miss Melissa for that body wiggling. You're well prepared. So on behalf of ANJ members, Indigo, Yoruba, Jamaica, all of us, we thank you. Very
I now hand over to the president. Yes, there's refreshment, please. Please, there's refreshment for us. Just let us make sure that it gets to every single we please bring on